Hi guys, welcome to a new video session on Business Studies One Shot Revision. My name is Yankit Khan, and in this video we are going to cover chapter number 7, that is directing. So let us start with the concept of directing. Now, after preparing plans, designing organization structure, and arranging the necessary human force, the next major managerial function is to direct the activities of employee. Now, directing aims at initiating activities of employees toward achieving the organizational goal which you have set up in the planning process. Now, directing is connecting link between the preparatory function of the management. So, the process of planning, organizing, and staffing, these are the preparatory functions. Monitoring of the function of management, it happens in the controlling process. So, the link between these two functions of management is the directing. Directing involves orders and instruction given by superiors to the subordinate. So let us understand the characteristics of directing. First of all, directing initiate action. Now, it is the executory function of the management. A manager has to perform these functions along with the other functions of the management. Other functions prepare setting for action while directing initiates action. Now, directing is all pervasive. It is applicable to all the employees of all levels at all departments. Directing takes place where superior subordinate relationship exists. Now, directing is continuous function. Irrespective of people join and quit the organization, directing takes place throughout the life of the organization. There may be changes in the manager, but directing remains continuous. It flows from top to bottom. Directing is initiated at top level and it flows to the bottom. This means every manager can direct his immediate subordinate. What are the importance of directing? Now, directing helps in initiating action so that organization goals can be achieved. Directing also helps in integrating the efforts of all the individuals working in the organization so that it contributes to the attainment of the overall goal, that is the organization goals. Directing also helps employee to realize their potential and motivate them to achieve their personal goal. It also helps in bringing the needed changes. And finally, effective directing also brings stability and balance in the organization since it fosters cooperation and commitment among the people to achieve organizational goals. Now, this is the main topic of this chapter. That is, what are the elements of directing? So, you have motivation, leadership, and communication. We are going to start with the motivation. Now, motivation is the process of stimulating and inspiring people at work to accomplish desired goal. Motivation means incitement and inducement to act or move. In the context of an organization, it means the process of making subordinate to act in a desired manner to achieve certain organizational goals. Now, what are the three major elements of motivation? First of all, you have the motive. That is an inner state of desire or purpose which activate and compel an individual to behave in the direction of achieving goal. The behavior of an individual consists of some need, some desire, and some urge. When a person recognizes a motive, it prompts him, it affects him to perform some action. Motivation, we have already discussed. And the third element of motivation is a motivator. Motivator means the technique used for motivating people. It could be financial, it could be non-financial. So before we go to financial and non-financial, that is what are the different type of incentives, let us understand Maslow's hierarchy of need. Now, an organization can succeed only when it has highly motivated team of employees. Since motivation is a complex process, various researchers have given different theories. Among various theories, Maslow's theory is considered very significant and is because it highlights the need of people. Now, Abraham Maslow was a US psychologist. He outlined the theory of motivation in his classic paper, which was published somewhere around 1940s. So let us understand what is the Maslow's theory and what are the hierarchical human needs. Now, first of all, in the Maslow's hierarchy, you have the basic psychological needs. And these are the most basic need in hierarchy, such as hunger, thirst, shelter, sleep. Now, in organizational structure, salary, the basic salary which you receive, it helps satisfy the basic need. Then you have the safety and the security need. These needs provide security from physical and emotional harm. So, in an organization, jobs, pensions, stability of income, it satisfies the security need. Once you satisfy the security need, you have the belonging need or the affiliation. These needs refer to affection, sense of belongingness, friendship. In organization, it is called a cordial relationship between the superiors, the peers, and the subordinates. Then you have the need of esteem. These needs include factors such as self-respect, autonomy, recognition, and attention. Here, in an organization, it is known as the status of job. You could be a manager. You could be a senior manager. And finally, you have the self-actualization need. It is the highest level of need in the hierarchy. It refers to the drive to become what one is capable of becoming. In an organization, it is referred to as growth, fulfillment, achievement of all the targets. Now, what are the assumptions of this theory? The first very basic assumption is the people behavior is based on these needs. Needs are hierarchical in nature, that is, they flow from top to bottom. That is, first you will satisfy the basic psychological need, then you will satisfy the security need, then you will satisfy the belongingness, then you will satisfy the self esteem, and then finally you will come at the self actualization. A satisfied need can no longer motivate a person. So, if a person has achieved his psychological needs, then any more addition to this psychological need is not going to motivate him. A person only moves to next level in need of hierarchy if his current level needs are satisfied. Now, let us go through the different incentives which are used to motivate an employee. Now, what are incentives? Now, incentives are understood as measures used to motivate people and improve their performance. The need of an individuals are varied. Some of them can be satisfied with money, while others can't be just satisfied with money. They need something else also. Now, on the basis of this, incentives can be of two types. You have financial incentive and you have the non-financial incentive. So let us cover the financial incentive first. It refers to those incentives which are directly measurable in monetary terms. Money not only helps in achieving the lower level needs, but also satisfy the higher level needs of social status and power. Since money has a purchasing power, it is very important incentive for every individual. They are provided to individuals or group for improving their performance. What are the different kind of financial incentives? First of all, you have the pay and allowance. For every employee, salary is a basic monetary incentive. Salary includes your basic pay, DNS allowance, house rental allowance, and other kind of allowance which a company gives to the employee. In some organization, a regular increment in pay and allowance are directly linked with the performance of the employee. The scope of increment induces the employee to improve their performance. Then you have productivity linked wages. It means that additional wages are paid to the employee as per their level of production target achieved. Higher the targets achieved, higher will be the monetary benefit. Then you have bonuses. Now, bonus is referred to a yearly or half yearly incentive which is paid to an employee over and above their salary. Then you have the concept of profit sharing. It means provide share to employees in the profit of the organization. It also motivates employee to improve their performance for contribution in the profit, because higher will be the profit, higher will be their share. Profit sharing is an agreement between the employer and employee in which employees are given share of profit if profit exceeds a predetermined level. Then you have stock option or co-partnership. Under this scheme of incentive, employees are offered company share at set price, which is usually lesser than the market price. Sometimes, in lieu of cash incentives, workers are given option to buy shares of the company at a reduced price. Now, such allotment of share creates a feeling of ownership among the employees. Then you have retirement benefit. Some companies provide retirement benefits such as provident fund, pension gratuity, which will provide monetary support to the employees. It acts as an incentive when they are in service. Such incentives help in satisfying safety and security need of the employee. And finally, you have perquisites. Now, many companies provide perquisites or fringe benefit to their employees, such as car allowance, medical allowance, education to their children, over and above their salary. This is also a very major incentive for the employees. Then you have financial incentives. All the needs of employees are not satisfied with money alone. Psychological, social, and emotional factor also play important role in providing the motivation. Now, what are the different kind of tools which you can use in the non-financial incentives? First of all, you have the status. It means ranking of position in an organization. Higher is the level of authority, responsibility, pay, reward, recognition, perquisites. Higher will be the status of the job. High status help to satisfy esteem need of the employee. Management often provides status symbol facilities like costly furniture, separate cabin, which will motivate the employee. Then you have organizational climate. It refers to the characteristics of the organization which distinguishes one organization from the other. Such characteristics include like individual autonomy, reward, orientation, open communication. Such organizational practice act as a great psychological incentive. Then you have career advancement opportunity. Every employee aspires to grow and develop in his life. It refers to providing an opportunity to an individual to move at higher level in an organization. We are basically talking about the promotion. Now, appropriate skill development programs and sound promotional policy always help in providing this type of incentive. It is followed by job enrichment. It is concerned with designing jobs with greater variety of work content, require higher knowledge and skills. It gives more authority and responsibility to the worker and provide them with meaningful work experience. Jobs are enriched with interest. It will always act as an incentive. Basically, you always try to make job a little bit challenging so that when the worker is doing the job, he feels a little bit enriched. Then you have employee recognition program. That is, you award them. You announce employee of the month, employee of the year. Many people have need of getting their work evaluated and thereby receiving due recognition as it satisfies their egoistic need. In this employee recognition program, the company acknowledges the work with show of appreciation. How can you do this? Display in notice board or company newsletter about the achievement of an employee, installing any certificate for best performance, distributing mementos, rewarding an employee, giving valuable suggestion. Then you have job security. It refers to providing stability in the job as it removes the anxiety from the minds of the employee of getting removed. People with stable job and surety of income work with more enthusiasm at the job. In India, job security becomes much more important because we have a widespread unemployment level. However, job securities often make people complacent and they do not perform efficiently because there is no risk of losing the job. Then you have employee participation. It refers to physical and mental involvement of employee in decision-making process. Employees feel important when they are asked to give suggestion. Such practice provide them with psychological benefit. In many companies, these programs are in practice in a lot of forms. So, for example, you have canteen committee, you have work committee. All these committees, they motivate the employee to participate in the functioning of the organization. Then you have employee empowerment. It means giving more autonomy and power to employees. Empowerment makes employee feel that the job is very important. The next element is the leadership. Now, leadership is the process of influencing people, that is the employee behavior, so that they will work willingly towards achievement of organizational goals. A leader maintain interpersonal relationship with employees and motivate them to achieve organizational objectives. And an individual who possesses an attribute of leadership, he is known as the leader. What are the features of leadership? Leadership indicates ability of an employee to influence other, bring changes in the behaviors of other. It indicates interpersonal relationship between the leader and the follower. It is exercised to achieve common goals of the organization, and it is a very it is a continuous process. Now, what are the different leadership styles which you see in an organization? The leadership style refers to the behavior pattern which reflects in the role of a leader. It depends upon type of followers and atmosphere prevailing in the organization. A leader may use all the styles over a period of time. However, there is a one style which will dominate the other. What are the different leadership style we see? So we have authoritative, democratic, and laissez-faire. So let's go through them one by one. First of all, you have the authoritative leadership. Now, an autocratic leader gives order and insists that they are obeyed. If a manager is following this style, then communication is only one way. Subordinates only act according to the command given by the manager. This leader is dogmatic, that is, does not change or wish to be contradicted. The leader believes that reward or punishment both can be given depending upon the result. Now, this leadership style is effective in getting productivity in many situations, like in a factory, where superior is responsible for production on time and has to ensure labor productivity. Quick decision making is also facilitated here. Then we have the democratic leadership. Now, a democratic leader will develop action plan and make decisions only after consulting with the subordinate. He will encourage them to participate in decision making process. Now, this type of leadership is becoming more common, and because the managers have realized that people perform best when they have their own objective. Leaders also need to respect the subordinates' opinion and support them to perform their duties for accomplishing any objective. Democratic leader exercise more control by using force within the group. And finally, you have laissez-faire leadership. Now, under this style, leader gives complete freedom to subordinate in setting their goals. Such leaders avoid the use of power. He largely depends upon the group to establish its own goal and work out on problem. Group members work as their choice and competence. The leader exists as a contact man and provide resources required by the group to accomplish the job. So it basically means let them do the job. The next element of directing is the communication. Now, communication play a key role in success of a manager. The professional knowledge and intelligence possessed by a manager becomes material only when he is able to effectively communicate with his subordinate and reach at a common understanding. Directing abilities of a manager depends upon his communication skills. Communication refers to process of exchanging of idea, view, fact, and feeling between two or more persons to reach a common understanding. What are the elements or what is the process of communication? So first of all, you have the sender. Sender means person who conveys thoughts or ideas to receiver. Sender represents the source of communication. Then you have the message itself, the content, idea, feeling, suggestion that needs to be communicated. Now this message is encoded. That is, it is converted into message. This message is converted into symbols like pictures, words, gestures. And then you have the media. Media is the channel through which encoded message is transmitted to receiver. Now, this channel can be in the written form, it can be face to face, or it can be in the phone call. Then, once the message is received by the receiver, it is decoded. The process of converting the encoded message of the sender. Who is the receiver? He is the person who received the message of the sender. And then the receiver gives the feedback. That is, all the action indicated that a receiver has understood the message of the sender. But between all this, we have noise. It means obstruction or hindrance of communication. Now, what are the different channels of communication? So, first of all, you have the formal communication. Now, by channels of communication is the path through which information flows from sender to receiver. So, there could be two channels of communication. First of all, you have the formal communication. It refers to the official communication taking place in the organization. Now, formal communication may take place either between employees of different level or at the same level. This communication is used for communicating official matters like orders, instruction, or any kind of related information which is official in its nature. The formal communication may be oral or written, but generally it is recorded and it is filed for the future reference. Now, when we talk about formal communication, it can take four forms. First of all, you have the downward communication. It refers to flow of information from superior to the subordinate. And when subordinate communicate to the superior, it becomes a upward communication. Then you have a horizontal communication. It refers to the flow of information between people at different department working at same level. And then you have diagonal communication. It refers to flow of information between person holding different level of authority in different department. Then you have the informal communication. Now it refers to communication that takes place without following formal lines of communication. It arises from social interaction of employees. It is also referred to as grapevine because it spreads throughout organization and its branches can be found in all directions. It is very difficult to detect the source of such communication and it can be misused to spread the rumors. What are the barriers of communication? So generally it is observed that managers face a problem of communication breakdown, which is known as communication barrier. Such barriers may hinder a complete communication or filter some of its part or carry any incorrect meaning. So there are four types of barriers. First of all, you have the semantic barrier. It refers to barrier taking place due to encoding or decoding of message into words or expression. So common semantic barriers are badly expressed message, symbols with different meaning, faulty translation, unclarified assumption, technical jargons, body language or gestures. Then you have psychological barriers. It refers to barriers which arise due to emotional or psychological factors of senders and receiver. What are the common psychological barriers? You have premature evaluation, that is, you preconceive the receiver uses the preconceived notion and prejudice against the communication and he evaluates the message before he has heard them. Then you have lack of attention, you have distrust, and you have loss of transmission. Then the third type of barriers is organizational. The structure of the organization, authority and relationship, rules and regulation, sometimes they can also act as a barrier. Mainly such factors are known as organizational barriers. So you have organizational policies, explicit or implicit, which do not support the flow of information. You have rules and regulations. You have status problem. Higher status people do not talk with the lower status people. You have complexity in organizational structure, and then you have organizational facilities. And finally, you have personal barrier. It refers to personal factor of sender and receiver which hinder the communication. So you have fear of challenge to authority, lack of confidence, lack of incentives, unwilling to communicate. How can we improve the communication effectively? Now, clarify the idea before communicating. The message or the problem which is to be communicated must be absolutely clear in the mind of the sender. Communication according to the need of the receiver. The level of understanding of receiver should be clear to the communicator. Then consult before communicating. Before communicating the message, it is better to involve others. Convey things of help and value to listeners. While conveying the message, it is better to know the interest and need of the receiver. communicate of present as well as the future. Now, if you want to make your communication effective, it is important to address present as well as the future aim of the organization. Be aware of language, tone, and content of message. Since the objective of communication is mutual understanding, the word, the tone, the language which you use should create an easy understanding for the receiver. That is, do not use any language which is offensive. Ensure proper feedback. The communicator must ensure success of communication by asking questions regarding the message conveyed. The receiver must be encouraged to respond to the communication. Then you can do follow-up communication. There should be proper follow-up and review of communication as it helps to remove any hurdle of misunderstanding. And always be a good listener. To make communication effective, the receiver should be a good listener. Patient and attentive listening solve half of the problem. And finally, you have the supervision. Now, what do we mean by supervision? Basically, it is a process of guiding the efforts of employees and other resources to accomplish the desired objective. We all know what supervision is, a function performed by the supervisor in the organizational hierarchy. So, person who is sitting at the top level, he supervises the work of the middle level. The person sitting at the middle level, he supervises the work of the operational level. Now, supervisor acts as a link between the workers and the management. Supervision is vital because it involves direct overseeing of subordinate work, guiding and ensuring the targets are met by the workers and employees effectively and efficiently, promote unity among employees, and develop morale and work skill in staff. With this, we have completed the quick revision of directing chapter. I hope you like this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.